Probably roll like 15, 20.
Damn.
And then if it's a good day, I'll run through all of them, and then probably have to roll up like 7 to 10 more.
Bro,
And,
that's what I'm saying. He got a hell of a
if
team.
it's a light day, I'll probably have like 5 blunts left. And I'll smoke 15.
Get to jail, what'd that feel like? When you're like, yo, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be locked up.
No, first night I got locked up. I watched Lone Survivor, and I was like, I'm definitely snitching, right? and then, no, seriously, I'm.
So from the jump,
No,
from the jump,
I'm
you
like-
laid down and you were stuffing your pillow. You're like, nah, it ain't gonna be long.
You mentioned earlier that you were in jail with Diddy.
Yep.
What was that like?
Funny story, and I'm just gonna talk about Diddy. Diddy seen me get on my knees 3 times a day to pray to the Lord Jesus Christ, right? I prayed in the morning when I woke up before I brushed my teeth. I prayed in the middle of the day around 6 p.m. and I'll pray right before I go to bed. I did that probably about for 7 days to 9. I believe about a week and a half. And Diddy said, hey, I see you read a lot of the Bible, because what I would do, I'll pray in the morning, but on my second prayer at 6 p.m. I'll read Psalms 91, Psalms 121, and Daniel 7, I believe, when they put them in the den of the lions. I'll read that every day at 6 p.m. And he says, I see you reading a lot of the Bible. I see you very, you get on your knees every day and pray to the Lord. Can I pray with you? And I said, yeah.
Did you and Diddy have conversations?
Yeah, we spoke. The first thing he said to me, he laughed. He's like, yo, that's crazy how we meet, right? And you know, it was everybody there. We gave a hug and all that shit. I mean, he's like, yo, I'm like, yo, oh, that's what I said. I said, yo, why you never invited me to none of your parties?
Any free coughs?
Huh?
Did you get invited to any free coughs?
Yeah, I'm like, yo, why you inviting me? Word two, that was the first thing he said, yo, that's crazy how we meet, right? We laughed. I said, yo, why you never invited me to none of your parties? Word two, that's how it happened. And then I put him on the phone with academics.
Right. Didn't you say that, like, you saw how Diddy was kind of running shit when he was in jail, like having other inmates do shit for him and everything? Was that you?
Nah, I never said that.
That wasn't you?
Yeah,
Okay,
that
that
wasn't
might have
me.
been someone else.
By the way, like I said, I'm not going to speak about the Diddy situation. I'm just telling you the altercation we had, because, you know, if I go to jail, what's today, the 15th?
What altercation are you talking about?
I'm talking about, like, our interaction.
So you and Diddy were locked up together?
Me, Diddy, slept
Listen
next
to-
to each other.
Trippie Redd didn't say a word. He didn't caption it, didn't explain it, didn't add context. He just reposted the footage. Tekashi 6ix9ine being processed back into federal custody. At first, people thought it was just another troll, another petty jab in hip-hop's longest-running internet beef. But then viewers noticed something unsettling. The timing, the song choice. The way 6ix9ine was smiling like this was all part of the plan. And suddenly, that clip didn't feel random anymore. It felt intentional, because this wasn't just about jail. This was about history. On January 6, 2026, Daniel Hernandez, better known as 6ix9ine, surrendered himself to federal custody at MDC Brooklyn. He was there to serve a 3-month sentence for violating supervised release tied to his 2019 federal case. But the way he did it, and that's what made headlines. Instead of laying low, 6ix9ine live-streamed the entire surrender with streamer Adin Ross. Music playing, jokes flying, federal agents walking in while he laughed about who he might see on the inside. It looked like content, like performance art. But behind the theatrics was a much uglier truth. This wasn't his first time at MDC Brooklyn, and this time, he wasn't there because of new charges. He was there because the system had finally run out of patience. The violations had stacked up quietly, one after another. Failed drug tests, unauthorized trips, missed reports, arrests overseas that were never disclosed. In October 2024, he was detained after testing positive for substances he wasn't allowed anywhere near. He'd also been traveling to places like Las Vegas and the Dominican Republic without permission. I'd completely bypassing the rules he agreed to. That landed him 2 weeks inside. A month later, the court hit him with 45 days. Then in December 2025, it got worse. 90 days. No more warnings. Judge Paul Engelmeyer didn't mince words. He made it clear that 6ix9ine had been given chance after chance and kept blowing every single one. And while social media turned the surrender into memes, Trippie Redd reposted it. That's when things shifted, because this wasn't just a rapper laughing at another rapper's downfall. This was someone watching the final chapter of a story he'd been part of since the beginning, back when none of this existed, back when they were actually friends. In 2017, SoundCloud rap was moving at light speed. Artists were blowing up overnight, and nobody knew who would still be standing a year later. No, Trippie Redd was already bubbling. 6ix9ine was desperate to break in. Their connection came through the no-jumper orbit, where Adam 22 had become a gatekeeper for the entire underground scene. 6ix9ine flew to LA chasing an interview that never happened, but that trip still changed his life. Someone suggested he link with Trippie Redd. They met. They clicked. They recorded Polls 1469. That night turned into momentum. The next day turned into a video shoot. The video turned into attention, and that attention reached the right people. One of them was Elliot Grange, the son of Lucian Grange, a label exec with serious pull. After seeing the response to Polls 1469, Elliot brought 6ix9ine in for a meeting. Within weeks, he was signed onto the same label as Trippie Redd. On paper, it was perfect. Two artists, same wave, same look, and same energy. But behind the scenes, things were already cracking. They were competing for the same resources, the same budget, the same spotlight, the same future. And when 6ix9ine dropped Gummo, everything flipped. The song exploded. Radio picked it up. The internet locked in. Suddenly, the label's priorities shifted. And according to 6ix9ine himself, Trippie Redd didn't take that well. That's when the accusations started. Trippie went public with a claim that instantly crossed a line, referencing a legal situation from 6ix9ine's past that would follow him forever. There was no walking it back. 6ix9ine fired back, accusing Trippie Redd of his own inappropriate behavior. Both sides denied wrongdoing, but the damage was already done. This wasn't rap beef anymore. This was reputation warfare. And then came the betrayal that sealed it. And the beat for Gummo? It wasn't originally his. It came from Trippie Redd's camp. 6ix9ine took it, flipped it, turned it into his biggest hit, and wrote it straight past the same artist he was beefing with. That alone would have ended most relationships. But this story didn't stop there. Late 2017, Trippie Redd was in New York shooting a video. 6ix9ine found out. What happened next would later be repeated in federal court, under oath. 6ix9ine ordered an attack. Different versions exist, different details, different levels of damage. But one thing isn't debated. He pleaded guilty to it. That hotel lobby incident didn't just end a friendship. It didn't just escalate a rap beef. It became evidence. What happened in that New York hotel crossed a line that couldn't be walked back. The second violence entered the picture. Moment the entire situation stopped being internet chaos and started becoming something far more dangerous. This wasn't live stream drama or social media posturing anymore. This was real-world action with real-world consequences. Exactly the kind of thing federal investigators pay attention to. And they were already watching. By November 2018, everything collapsed at once. Not slowly, not piece by piece. It all came down in a single sweep. Federal agents didn't show up with one charge or a narrow allegation. They came with a full package: racketeering, firearms offenses, conspiracy, acts of violence tied directly to organized activity. This wasn't about image or persona. This was about patterns, structure, and intent. The case wasn't built on rumors or headlines. It was built on recordings, witness statements, digital trails, and physical incidents that could be proven in court, like that hotel attack. What once felt like unchecked chaos suddenly had a paper trail, and every move from the past few years started connecting in ways 6ix9ine could no longer outrun. For him, the math was brutal. This wasn't a slap on the wrist. This wasn't a few years with good behavior. He was staring down the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind federal walls. No touring, no viral moments, no clout, no cameras, just time, measured in decades, not months. That's when the decision got made. He cooperated. In 2019, 6ix9ine took the stand and did what almost nobody expected him to do so completely. He didn't dance around details. He didn't speak in generalities. He named names, broke down how everything worked. Who held rank? Who enforced? Who financed? And who carried out orders? The structure, the hierarchy, the rules. Nothing vague, nothing coded. And when it came to Trippie Redd, there was no sidestepping it. Under oath, he admitted to ordering the hotel attack. No social media spin, no live stream theatrics, no tough guy persona, just facts, spoken in a courtroom, locked into federal record. That testimony changed everything. From a legal standpoint, it worked. A potential life sentence shrank into a finite number. Years disappeared. Time shaved down. He walked out far earlier than anyone thought possible. Proof that cooperation had done exactly what it was supposed to do. But outside that courtroom, the damage was permanent. The reputation didn't recover. The trust didn't come back. The label stuck. Every move after that came with an asterisk. And every comeback attempt carried the weight of what had been said under oath. The same mouth that once shouted threats on records had explained everything to prosecutors. And no matter how many times the story shifted online, that testimony never did. Because once something becomes evidence, it never really disappears. The label didn't come back, the industry trust didn't come back, the stain didn't fade. Trippie Redd never had to say much about it. He didn't throw a party, didn't victory lap interviews, didn't make a statement. He didn't need to. The man who once ordered him attacked was now sitting under courtroom lights, explaining his own actions to federal prosecutors. That was vindication enough. And then time passed. Years went by, the hype cooled, the music landscape changed, and the same patterns started repeating. Violations, wore bad decisions, no restraint, which is how years later that same man ends up right back where he started, MDC Brooklyn, live streaming his surrender like it's content, smiling like it's a joke, treating incarceration like part of the brand. And Trippie Redd reposts it. No caption, no explanation, no emotion, just the footage. So now the question isn't whether that repost was trolling, it's whether it was something quieter than that. Closure, or karma, or simply the long arc of consequences finally catching up, right on camera. Or just another chapter in a story that still isn't finished. Because some beefs don't end with apologies. They don't end with peace talks or public statements. They end with silence, distance, and one last clip, playing on loop. If you've been following this rivalry from the SoundCloud days to the courtroom era, then you already know, this story has never been about music alone. It's about choices, ego, and how fast momentum can flip when reality finally shows up. So now the real question is this: was that repost a joke? Or was it the quietest response Trippie Redd could have given? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into rap beefs, industry breakdowns, and stories the headlines don't fully explain, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because these stories don't stop when the cameras turn off. There's always another chapter.